Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing off with the same section from Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is Identifying the Critical Parent. And this section is on page 57. And it's entitled Building Trust by Becoming Your Own Loving Parent, which is the solution of reparenting. Building trust by becoming your own loving parent. When you see your critical inner parent's positive intention, or have detached from them for the time being, they won't stop intervening unless they trust the loving parent will be there to protect, love, support, and guide the inner family. I really love that. To protect, love, support, and guide the inner family. The inner critic has to know that that loving parent will come and play that role. Messages like the following, when heartfelt, can help the critical parent trust that you recognize their intentions and are beginning to own your loving parent, or you're beginning to become your own loving parent. Sorry, guys. Tongue twisters today. Some examples. I get why you think it's important. I appreciate and respect what you did for me in childhood. It's deeply sad, horrible, painful that there was no one else around to take care of us the way that you did. I understand why are you so hypervigilant. You had to be prepared to handle a lot of unexpected, terrifying situations. In order to live our best life, we need to allow the inner children to feel and express their feelings. Trying to control them hasn't worked. When the critical parent steps back and the loving parent steps in, we can then attend to our inner child's feelings and needs. Over time, we stop trying to manage ourselves by listening to the critical parent's messages. With a loving parent in charge, we can trust that we will act from clarity and compassion towards our inner child and inner teen. When we don't, we can make amends. In early recovery, my critic went looking inside of my inner children, which didn't work well. My sponsor suggested I cultivate my inner loving parent. I mentioned that my inner critic and asked my higher power to help me become my own lover parent. I adopted ideas and examples from longtime fellow travelers and TV like Mr. Rogers. I began to couple together the loving language and self-care actions that would replace my inner critic's old ways. Such a beautiful point. It took time and a lot of practice, but eventually my inner loving parent began to disarm my inner critic. This is a quote from a fellow traveler. Now, this section is called a gentleness break. As you begin to break the don't talk, don't trust, don't feel rule, your critical parent may become more reactive. This is because you are breaking deeply conditioned patterns that conflict with how the critical parent thinks you should behave. As you continue to set healthy internal boundaries and care for your inner children, this will lessen. Consider doing something nourishing for yourself as a gentleness break before proceeding further. Thank you. That's the reading for today. This is a reflection. Building trust, the theme of March is building self-trust and confidence. So I thought that this would be a good reading to check out today as we prepare to move into March. Building self-trust by becoming your own parent, showing up for yourself. You'll see I just recorded the episodes for next week. And there are quite a few talks in there and readings that I did that really hit on this point of how to build self-trust by building that evidence. And you're building that evidence by fulfilling the role of the loving parent. Those actions that you take begin to counteract the critical parent, the negative voice in your mind. And over time, they begin to outbalance each other. And once you get to that place, you're basically in smooth sailing. Not in smooth sailing, but you're no longer fighting, as I mentioned before in the Chinese finger trap, trying to pull apart as opposed to relaxing into something, accepting what is. That can be difficult because sometimes a certain issue can cause us to catastrophize, which then causes more stress and anxiety, unsettledness. And that really does make it more difficult for us to feel in alignment with our true selves, to have peace and to access joy and stability and really to align with abundance, which is our birthright. So becoming your own parent is the definition of building that self-trust when you're coming from this situation of having been insufficiently parented. It's possible to heal and to grow, to learn the things that we missed. It's just a matter of habit and repetition. That's how you grow. You repeat the same actions or different actions to give yourself the evidence that allows your nervous system to start adjusting to your new reality. This is reparenting in action. So that's it for today. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.